Browns getting prepared to face the Chargers in LA on Sunday. And Mary Kay, something we kind of knew a little bit, but found out officially today, Baker Mayfield playing with a partially torn labrum. It is in his non-throwing shoulder. So Mary Kay, when you hear that, what do you think?
Well, first of all, Dan, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, when you saw Baker Mayfield's arm hanging at his side during the Texans game, that doesn't happen without some little bit of structural damage in there. So not surprising whatsoever that he has a torn labrum. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I have been told in no uncertain terms it did not cause him to have that bad game against the Vikings. Now, yes, you might have to overcome a little bit of pain. He is playing with the harness on, but just in terms of what he's able to do out there, nobody thinks that the left shoulder is causing his arm to be wild the way that it was in Minnesota. I think it's getting blown out of proportion.
Yeah, there's certainly some effect because like Alex Van Pelt said today, look, you're probably not sleeping real well. There is some pain there, but he's someone who has actually had both of his shoulders. He's dealt with this injury, and he kind of said it's just something that Baker has to play through and get through. So he didn't seem real concerned about it, and he did say the accuracy has been there in practice.
Yes, it has been there in practice, and we've watched, the early 20 minutes of each practice. He has looked fine. He hasn't been wincing in pain. And another thing that leads me to believe that it's not the left shoulder affecting the right is the fact that he had too much heat on the ball in many instances on Sunday. So it's not like he can't get it there, and he's overthrowing it a lot of the times.
Now, someone else dealing with this injury, and he's been dealing with it for a long time, he said today, is Odell Beckham Jr. He mentioned in that Texans game that the shoulder popped out and he had to pop it back in. Actually, I'm sorry, that was the Bears game. The shoulder popped out, he had to pop it back in. He did go back to the locker room momentarily against the Vikings, so Odell certainly knows a little bit about this injury.
Yeah, he does, and as he mentioned, he has no intentions of undergoing any kind of a surgery. Incidentally, neither does Baker Mayfield right now. It's just not something where they're thinking about playing Case Keenum or anything like that. But Odell doesn't want to undergo the knife. He's done that enough since 2017, and he says it's just something that you play with. But even today, I noticed him messing with the shoulder a little bit in practice.
Okay, one more thing, Odell and Baker Mayfield, the communication aspect. Baker Mayfield has sort of said they want to overemphasize communication. It seemed to be an issue on Sunday, especially on that last throw to Odell Beckham, where he thought the safety was doing one thing, Baker thought the safety was doing another. Mary Kay, is that sort of the final hurdle for these two to clear?
Yes, and the problem with that, Dan, is the fact that that in-game chemistry only comes in the heat of the moment. You cannot practice this out in practice when you're not getting hit, you're not getting crushed, the quarterback's not getting sacked in practice. So timing changes, and I've said this many times before. Odell played so many years with Eli Manning. Austin Hooper played so many years with Matt Ryan. I think it takes a little time to get your vocabulary down with your new quarterback.
Yeah, you do get used to kind of how those guys throw the football, where it's going to be in certain times, and there's still that adjustment going on between Baker and Odell, it appears. Okay, we'll have full coverage of everything leading up to that game in Los Angeles against the Chargers, all at cleveland.com/Browns.